children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Hello and welcome to Final Guys as my wife runs into the room as we're starting the show. Tonight we are watching Byte, which I don't know if you'd call it a Tubi original, but it is a movie on Tubi. And it is new, and it will be a fascinating discussion, I am sure. I'm Jason Brandt, joined as always by Chad Lutsky.
Beep boop beep.
I was going to say this is audio. And Jack Campisi.
Oh, that bites.
No Hunter this week because he was going on vacation and watching Twisters, I think he said.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be curious. Did anybody else go see that? I know you didn't, Chad.
No, I have not.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I didn't get to. So, alrighty. So before that, we'll do all the usual BS, including. Does anybody have any announcements or new shit coming out?
Nah.
Me either. We are a boring bunch this week. All right. How about the drinking words, which I have not looked for? Here we go. Who wants to do it?
Chad.
I got him. Okay, let's do this. The drinking words for tonight, July 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. If Jack says monster, moon, or transform, take a drink. Hunter's not here. So we'll throw some of those on the bonus words, I guess. Jason, if he says original, blood, or writing. If I say low performance effects, and if anyone says acting, professor, budget, Tubi, werewolf, app, you better take a drink.
I have been dreading all day talking about this. I've just been like, oh my God. I hope this is a short one. So if that's spoilers, my apologies. But if you guys have nothing else, let's get this shit over with and jump into the news.
Let's do it.
let's just roll. It's the news. Yay.
All right. Tonight, the news is brought to you by Dave from So Bad It's Good. Dave,
Wow.
you gotta love him.
Dave.
All right. You guys are authors. Do you know Matt Serafini?
I don't know him, but
his
I
name,
know of
yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never.
Know of him.
Never
Okay, so
talked
you're
to
not
him.
like friends with him?
Mm-hmm.
Matt Serafini is authoring For Vinegar Syndrome, a novelization of the 1981 movie Madman.
I'm Madman?
No, just Madman.
Vinegar
Mars.
Syndrome is getting into novelizations?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about that a couple years ago, and I sent them an email with like a resume thing with some samples. All right.
Huh.
No, I think I sent them. It said I could send some samples. Yeah, I was trying to get in on that.
If
Wow.
you go to Vinegar Syndrome, it's the hardcover for this, $49.99 for Madman.
Whoa. So they're doing like they do with the Blu-rays. They're doing like super
Yeah, like
special edition
Special edition.
deluxe.
Yeah, so this is like hardcover?
Yeah, hardcover,
Oh, okay. So
limited
You said-
edition.
what am I thinking of? Madman. Is that the one with the dude with the overalls on the
Yeah,
cover?
Madman Mars.
Oh, it's got the hilarious hot tub scene. Hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, Madman.
It's
that's
worth it's worth watching, man. Good 80s slasher.
Me and Hunter met the Madman at Chiller once. He got
Right
a
on.
signed DVD or something like that. I took the picture of them.
Can I get in on some of this action? I would maybe do a novelization of like Champagne and Bullets. Like something just absolutely bonkers.
I'm telling you, that's why I was asking. Like, who else? Who was doing the Halloween novelization?
Tim Wagner, and he just
Wagner.
signed up for Terrifier 3 or 2, one of them.
Wow. I had no idea they were doing this stuff. That's What novelizations of these movies Vinegar Syndrome does? That's so crazy,
Dude, I'm doing 2 novelizations. I'm working on one, and then I got another one lined up. But through Encyclopocalypse, and they've done a ton of them, all B
That's-
movie stuff.
That's so crazy. Oh
Wow,
man,
Jason, you could do Demon Wind.
that's what I'm talking. Like those kinds of movies would
Yeah,
be so much fun to write.
They've done Creature, Chopping Mall, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, some really obscure stuff too.
Oh man, I am so interested in this. You're blowing my mind. Okay.
So much of this news tonight is actually stuff that Hunter would totally be into. He's got Madman's autograph. The next movie we're going to talk about is like a regular with him and his wife when they were, young and dating. Witchboard is getting a remake. And the interesting part of this is that it's going to be directed by Chuck Russell, who not only did The Mask, but he did Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors.
Oh, that's why I know his name.
So at first I was like, oh, Witchboard, whoever. And I was like, wait, Dream Warriors?
Chuck Russell. He didn't do like The Blob or something, did he?
He could have. I don't know.
What? That name's like really familiar. So a Witchboard remake.
Yep. Which, that's fine. I have no problem with them remaking Witchboard.
Man, I haven't seen that in so long. That's a great one to remake. It's
Is it the
mega
one with
horror fans
Tawny-
know it, but nobody outside of us knows it.
Is it the one with Tawny?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that one's hilarious.
Didn't they show that on Joe Bob like a year ago?
I think so.
I think we watched it together.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Yes, he did do The Blob. Apparently, that's okay. That's what I was thinking of.
So,
Cool.
good track record.
Yeah.
All right, so Deadpool and Wolverine's coming out like this weekend. Did you see the popcorn bucket that came out recently?
You know what? I actually did see that, and I don't even know how because I'm not into anything like that.
Yeah, so it's very kind of like a Wolverine face from a blow-up doll, basically. Well, I don't know if you remember the Dune one that was a sandworm. It looked like something you'd find in a
No.
square sex shop. It looked like a sandworm mouth.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Well, if you look up Cinemas, they've got a alien popcorn bucket that is like an alien xenomorph head. I think it's going to be like $25. But if you're looking for like good alien swag, this thing's awesome. I suggest looking it up.
So are people now collecting popcorn buckets?
Mhm.
Is this like the new collectible?
Yep.
Popcorn buckets?
They had the opportunity to do the alien egg, and they chose the alien head instead.
I heard another cinema is doing the face hugger.
Huh.
I mean,
Alright,
you're right. The
nice.
egg would have been the layup.
Yeah, for real. That Wolverine mask does look cool though. That looks pretty sweet.
Oh, I'm psyched. All right, the last piece of news. I think Chad in particular is going to be happy about this one. Horror in the High Desert 3 has screened, and there are
Excellent.
reviews available online, and it's expected to be hitting VOD soon. There's no specific date, but it's coming. So I know you
Can't
had
wait.
mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. So
Excellent.
We gotta do that. We gotta cover that one. You guys have seen 2, right?
oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's so long between me watching them, I start to forget some of the lore.
Yeah.
The second one ends in that like mining building, right? Like that big abandoned building in the dark.
Yes.
It's
There's
a
like
little
two
all over the
halves to that
place.
one.
Yeah, it's a little.
The
all
first
over.
half is like in a house with a girl in the basement, and then the second half is like a girl in a car, and then she ends up running off into the house.
I'm remembering
the logging
car.
house.
Yeah,
Great.
The car is the best part of the movie. I thought.
Intense. Great freaking movie.
Cool.
So anyway, that was pretty cool. So I'd imagine we'll hear more about that pretty soon. And that's it. Quick news. That's all the news fit the purpose.
I'm feeling good about this one. We're going to be done early for once. I hope so. All right, let's talk about the crap we watched this week.
We have such sights to show you.
All right, Chad.
Okay.
What other stuff did you watch on Tubi this week?
I have been waiting for this one to stream somewhere for a while now because I never did see it all the way through, and that's The Haunting from 1963, the original.
Oh.
It's on Tubi now, finally. I used to have it on VHS, like a dubbed VHS copy, and I never, for whatever reason, I never saw the whole thing. A group of people are invited to stay at a mansion that's supposed to be haunted for the purpose of reporting any paranormal activity that they might experience. And the movie primarily focuses on Eleanor, this timid and kind of unstable woman who has her own demons that seem to be exacerbated by the house and what might be going on in it. This is a great, really atmospheric, kind of a slow burn, great haunted house movie. And it's amazing that 35 years later, when they tried to remake it, that remake ranks up there with one of the worst haunted house movies ever made. Yeah, it's like, how hard is it to do, like werewolf movies? How hard is it to freaking make a decent werewolf movie?
Apparently pretty hard, since it's been done like 3 times.
Yeah, that's about it. And same with haunted houses, man. It's like, you know what? I don't know.
The Haunting remake is one of my least favorite movies of all time.
Oh, it's horrendous. I mean, the casting doesn't help it either. So I would love to see this get remade, like legitimately, into some bear with me, into some 3-hour slow burn that like picks away your psyche, and that has like those long, uncomfortable shots from that indie film, A Ghost Story, and then give it no soundtrack. And let some A24 director take the wheel, or maybe the ghost of William Friedkin or something. And I think you'd have yourself a masterpiece, because all the elements are there. And it's just a little dated. Just do not cast like Owen Wilson. Keep him in the Wes Anderson films. But also, I guarantee Sam Raimi was heavily influenced by this movie for Evil Dead. There's no doubt about it. Just not just in camera work, but the really loud and chaotic sound design when stuff goes down. So yeah, man, if you haven't seen this, it's definitely worth a watch.
I know I watched that probably back in high school, and I don't really remember much. Same with the remake, actually. I saw that in the theater. Mm-hmm. I remember not liking it, but I don't actually remember much of what's in it at this point. It's been so long.
I heard that another one of my least favorite haunted house movies is Rose Red by Stephen King, that miniseries.
Uh-huh.
And I guess that originally was supposed to be a retelling of, because this is based on Shirley Jackson's House on, or Haunting of Hill House. The Haunting is based on that. So Spielberg and Stephen King were supposed to do their version of this based on Shirley Jackson's book. Spielberg wanted more action. King wanted more ghosts, more horror. They couldn't agree, so they agreed to finally just shelve it. And then Stephen King put his own version out, and that was Rose Red, and that was god awful. That was bad.
So wait, is the Flanagan Haunting of Hill House?
That's based on Shirley Jackson's book? So yeah, I would assume so. But he took some great liberties. I've never read the book, but you could see some of it, like some of the people dying and a woman hanging herself and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's the thing that you were just describing that you'd like to see. I think that's it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you're probably right. I mean,
hard to beat that.
it's such a character study too. When Flanagan does something, it's a character study as well. I mean, you really get a backstory for. It's like
Yeah.
Stephen. It's like Stephen King without Stephen.
I have a question. For like 375 or episode 400, should we do The Haunting? We're always looking for these movies that like we all hate that we watched a long time ago. That could be one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up for it. I haven't seen it in a long time. I just remember hating it.
That's all I remember, yeah. Like, if you showed me a specific scene, I don't even think I'd remember it. It's been... When did that come out? 99? Something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 99.
So it's been 25 years.
I want us to do Dracula 2000 something.
I would be down with it. Actually, I might have a copy of that, now that you mentioned it. I'll have to look.
But yeah, The Haunting. God, if I have to sit through that again, God damn it.
It's long, too, isn't it? Isn't it like 2 hours?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Owen Wilson.
Look, we made it through Van Helsing, okay? We can do anything. So, all right, Jack, what you watch?
I wish Hunter was here. I watched the Bigfoot movie.
The Bigfoot movie?
A Bigfoot movie called Stranded. It's like over the weekend, I was like, what am I going to watch? I'm going through watch lists or my queue and stuff. So I just put on Twitter. I was like, what should I watch? A couple of people answered. And one of the suggestions was this movie Stranded. I think it's like from last year. It's free on Prime, I think. Low budget Bigfoot movie. So I was like, it was like 88 minutes long. Like, okay, it's free, 88 minutes. And maybe I'm going to see a Bigfoot movie that Hunter hasn't seen before. So it's about, it opens with like they're in Fouke, Arkansas, which is, we interviewed a guy on Monster Men who is all about the Fouke monster. There's all kinds of Bigfoot stuff down that area. So this, down in that area, it starts with like cops looking for somebody in the bog and in the woods, and somebody gets attacked by a Bigfoot. Then it switches to like another state years later, or I don't know how long later, but a new people, and we meet this family. It's like two brothers and a sister. One brother had been kind of left for 5 years and came back because their mother died. And there's all kinds of friction between the siblings. And their mother sends a recording telling them she wants her ashes thrown in like Boggy Creek at their lake house or bog house. I don't know. The mother's played by, I think her name is Tammy Glynn from one of the Halloween movies. She was like a little hot blonde in like a devil costume that gets killed in like a barn.
Tamara Glenn, it's saying.
So that's the only famous person that I can recall in this. So this thing has got like a Spirit Halloween Bigfoot suit. They all go to Boggy Creek to throw the mother's ashes, and then their car breaks down in the middle of the night in the middle of the woods, and they get attacked by a Bigfoot. And most of the movie is them just talking and arguing with each other and working out their family problems. And then occasionally this Bigfoot comes, and then somehow the other plot that we were introduced to comes into play. So it was like, oh, this is like a low budget Bigfoot movie that's swinging for the fence on writing and character development, but with like a Byte special effects budget.
I was going to say, so a bad costume and a lot of talking.
Yeah.
What does this sound like?
So I'm going to say that I gave it props for taking a big swing, and the independent film people doing a pretty good job with, very little budget and everybody giving it their all. But I can't wait to see if Hunter has seen this and where does this rank on his. Because for me, I was just like, yeah, no, if you're gonna put on I mean, it looked like you at Scares to Care. Actually, you probably looked better than this guy.
Wow, that's not good.
But it was like, if you're Hunter Shea, I would immediately say, yes, you got to watch this. Anybody else, I'd be like, yeah, don't worry about it.
The cover looks familiar. I think Josh Ramirez might be right. Isn't this the one that he watched and was like, I'm done with Bigfoot movies?
Maybe it is. The problem is when he watches a Bigfoot movie, I don't really listen once he starts talking.
The cover does look familiar to me, though.
So, yeah, like, I couldn't believe how heavy into the plot that they were leaning.
Huh. That's actually, like, that would be a good book cover, which actually...
Yeah, it looks like a book cover.
It feels like I might have said that when we talked about this last time.
Yeah, and I remember that Boggy Creek sign, too.
Yeah, I think he talked about this and decided he was done with Bigfoot movies.
You know, they keep putting these Bigfoot movies out. They're going to catch up with all the shark movies.
That was part of the reason why I watched it. I was like, well, Hunter's been watching dumb shark movies lately. I got to jump over to his side of the fence and
You got to jump the shark, huh?
mow his lawn a little bit.
All right, I'm going to keep this short, but I finished watching Dark Matter, and I was saying that I was looking forward to this really horrific scene in the middle of it from the book. And when I got three-quarters of the way through the show, I realized I was actually thinking of a different Blake Crouch book. So that scene did not happen. So this is... There's horrific stuff in this, but this is more of like a dark thriller than anything. But I just wanted to put out there that this was not the horror show I was expecting. Still very, very good, and I want to give props to Apple TV, because this is, I believe, the third show I've seen now where they have the original author come on and be the showrunner, which is unheard of. You know, like Blake Crouch is not a director or a showrunner, but they brought him in. Hugh Howey did Silo with them, and I believe there was one more. Oh, anyway, I'm looking at stupid pictures. This show's excellent, but not the horror I was thinking, so ignore what I said months ago. But Chad, what you got?
Okay. Listen, I know there's been a lot of talk about this one lately, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but I just wanted to mention that I finally saw Jaws: The Revenge.
Nice.
A couple days ago, and it's horrible. I think that somebody mentioned maybe you doing a main feature. I really don't want to do that because even ironically, it's just boring. It's
What?
not a.
Oh, I thought this was so funny.
It's just a boring movie. Yeah, there's some laughable. When you realize that she thinks she has this telepathic communication with the shark. When you realize that, then you're like, oh, what am I in for? You know.
Yeah.
And of course, when Mario Van Peebles starts talking, right off the bat, you hear one of the worst, Jamaican accents that you're ever going to hear, where he needs to toss in the word "man" at the end of every paragraph just so you can tell he's supposed to be Jamaican.
Of course.
But for those who haven't seen it yet, here's a brief rundown of what to expect, including the Jamaican accent "man." A shark that swims at the speed of someone walking. No lie. Yet it swam from New York to the Bahamas in the same time it takes a plane to get there.
Uh-huh.
It never shows this shark. I mean, seriously, it's like it's walking. If it's not sitting still, it's moving very slowly. So I don't understand that. The tagline, this time it's personal, is not lying. The shark has a personal vendetta against Sheriff Brody's offspring. A woman has a telepathic connection with said shark and can feel when it's around and what its plans are. People bleed in the water before they're bitten and before they're in the water. That happened twice. The shark roars like a lion, and stabbing a shark with a jousting bow of a of a boat will make sharks explode violently, which I didn't know about.
Mhm.
So, the more you know.
Mario von Peebles is shark proof as well.
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yes.
In its mouth.
Yes.
And then later he's like, fine.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yep.
No, it suffers from people who don't watch bad movies a lot don't usually understand that, like, not every movie is just like laughs the whole way through. Almost every one of these, the middle is boring as shit, and this movie is no different. Mm-hmm. It's just Michael Caine trying to tag Brody's widow is like the majority of the movie, but that ending is so glorious in this.
I will say that if a movie is not like super blatantly bad, like something we might be talking about later, it's a little bit harder for me to appreciate and find the humor and the entertainment in a bad movie, because I haven't gotten high since I was like 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah,
so
you
I don't
don't
do
drink.
that anymore.
That's a
I don't
requirement.
drink anymore. So I'm stone cold sober, and most of the time I'm watching these by myself. So
these are all cardinal sins of bad movies, dude.
Yeah, I get it. But
Jaws
I mean,
Revenge is the drug.
I did watch Jaws Revenge with my wife because we did it for Creepy Couch, because I was just looking for something. I had this movie on a sealed, unopened DVD. I don't know where it came from. I just saw it on my shelf, and I was like, oh my gosh, the guys have been talking about this. We're going to watch this tonight. So,
you know, maybe if you do it like really late at night, so you're kind of loopy from being awake a long time, you might get the same effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason. At the beginning of every So Bad It's Good, one of the first sounds you hear is psh, because we're opening beers, because these are bad movies. Jaws of Revenge, man. What a plot. What a plot.
If you're only getting the Jaws of Revenge now, it's kind of like the way you just saw Star Wars. Like, you're getting to the party really late. So we've got miles and miles on this movie. It's been with us for so long. You're kind of new to this. So it's going to grow on you. I don't know if you have cable, but this is the kind of movie that you really need to just you're flicking channels and, oh, Jaws the Revenge is on, and you watch the second half of it. Oh, it's the part with the banana boat. I'll watch that. It becomes part of your life. It's woven into the fabric of your life.
Jaws the Revenge.
No.
You bring it up at family reunions.
Yes. It's like an old friend.
There is a thing, though, with these movies. After a couple of months, you don't remember how boring a lot of it is, and you just remember the hilarious stuff. And then you're like, oh, yeah, that's great. And then you tell somebody to watch it, and they're like, dude, there was an hour in there where nothing happens.
Yeah, it's a very boring...
When Michael Caine and Ellen Brody are at some street fair or something. And
yeah.
Oh, for God's sake, get back in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, they're at the... Yeah, what the hell is that? Some kind of outdoor party. You're like, whatever.
It's just move to Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. Why you... Dude, I could talk about this movie for hours. Jack, what did you watch?
All right. I watched a vampire movie. Hammer, probably the last Hammer Dracula movie. Does not have Christopher Lee, but it does have Peter Cushing as Van Helsing. I don't know if I've ever talked about this movie on this show before, but in 1974, the last Hammer Dracula movie was The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, where Hammer decided, we're going to make a kung fu movie with Dracula. Jason, you got to watch this movie.
Hammer did that, huh?
Hammer. I watched this on YouTube. I've seen this movie twice in my life. I've been aware of it my whole life, but I was only able to track it down a few years ago. This is basically, it starts with this monk from the Orient finds Dracula and wants his help resurrecting these seven golden vampires. Dracula somehow takes the form of this guy and kills him, but takes his form and then goes off. And then we fast forward in time, and now we're like in more modern times, and Van Helsing's from 19 Dracula 1972 AD 72 era, and his son end up facing the 7 vampires with this team of like 7 brothers who are like kung fu experts and their sister. And basically it's like whenever Peter Cushing's on, it's like a Dracula movie, but then he's like teamed up with these kung fu guys, and then it's just crazy kung fu fights. And it's Jason, you got to watch this. Could be a candidate for your show.
Toten says I have a copy.
It's just it's beautiful. Oh, and then so this another guy plays Dracula, not Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee was tapped out at that point. He's like, I'm done with this. So there's a showdown with Dracula at the end, and you got to see this movie. It's insane.
It's that much fun. All right, I guess I have it.
It's like a legit kung fu movie that you would watch on a Saturday afternoon when you were a kid, with like hammered Dracula stuff. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous movie.
Is Peter Cushing in it at the same time as the kung fu guys? Okay, so it's not like 2 movies they tried to edit together.
No, they were like, we're gonna do this. Like, so,
wow. Okay.
You know, Peter Cushing like talking and explaining vampires, and then suddenly the vampires attack and the brothers go into their thing. Well, you know, Peter Cushing's got like a torch and it's like, get away from me.
All right, I will have to check this out. It sounds pretty amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So speaking of SBIG movies, this actually is an episode that came out a little while ago, but I had forgotten to bring it up to you guys. Have you ever seen Creepozoids with Linnea Quigley?
I don't know if I've seen that. I've been aware of it my whole life. Same.
I knew the cover, but I had never actually seen the movie. Wow, there's all 6 people in it. There you go. You're going to be surprised to hear Linnea Quigley has a shower scene in this for no reason. I know that's shocking, considering...
I think I may have seen that.
Considering her career. Yeah, it's just all the same cover. Okay. It is a cool cover, but this starts off as an Aliens ripoff, then turns into an Evil Dead ripoff, then is an Aliens ripoff, and then at the end is kind of a Chucky ripoff, and the whole movie is maybe an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. It just ends. I mean, abrupt. You know, I'm not sure how much I can show. She looks
rough.
They ugly her up at the beginning. That's why she has to shower, so that she looks better. You know what? This is a Linnea Quigley movie. I'm not going to show more images than I have to. This is a lot of fun, and we kept waiting for Linnea to take a shower, because that's what she does, and she comes through. So, yes, if you like these cheeseball, low-budget 80s movies where Linnea, you know, is very dirty at the beginning and has to get clean at some point, this is your kind of movie.
This is a good one, because I'm always looking for that one I've been aware of, but turns out I never saw. Like I said, I probably have seen the clip of her taking a shower.
She is very naked. This movie, I mean, it's a David Dakota movie. He makes, I think I've seen 3 or 4 of his movies now on So Bad It's Good. They're always, no, I take it back. They're not always entertaining, but this one is. This one is pretty wild. So
when it's her birthday on Twitter, that clips from that movie, like "Happy birthday, Linnea."
Oh, I don't. Maybe.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I'm never on, but that's pretty funny. It's a movie, man. All right, Chad, you got anything else?
No, man, I'm tapped out.
Jack, you got anything else?
That's it. Moving
all right.
Quick.
I got one more. I finally watched Civil War.
Oh, nice.
The Alex Garland film with Kirsten Dunst. This is not what I was expecting, but I really liked it. I thought it was very well made. When you hear what it's about an American Civil War happening now, you think, oh, this is going to be ridiculously political. It's going to piss off half the people who watch it. That is not the case here. Unless I'm just so dumb, I didn't pick up on stuff. But even if that's the case, that means they did a good job not making it overt. You know, it's not like a modern Marvel film. This is... And to be honest, up until the end, not a lot of it's even about the war. It's about a jaded war photographer who has always gone to other countries and seen terrible things. And now she's having to go through her own country and record the violence. And she picks up a new, young, fresh-faced wannabe photographer who goes on a journey with her. And their trek across the United States is rough. Some bad things happen. It's, like I said, it's way more of a character movie than anything else. The action doesn't really hit until the end. Solid film. Not what I was expecting at all, but I dug it. It's pretty damn good. Alex Garland is an interesting filmmaker.
They made one of the alliances in that movie something that would be very unlikely in real life.
Yes.
That when the movie came out, a lot of people were like, "What the hell was that?" And he did that on purpose to be like, "This is not the world we live in. Let's just take that off the table. I'm not."
Yeah,
I'm not
it's basically
thinking.
Texas and California team up
Yeah,
to try to secede, and they end up going to war with the rest of the country and trying to take Washington.
right. So it's like, we're not that's not the real Texas and the real California. It's
Right. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, there is a scene in the middle where they come across some soldiers.
Jesse Plemons.
Is that who the
Yeah.
actor's name was? I was trying to find it.
That's Kirsten Dunst's husband.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, from Breaking Bad.
I mean, I've seen it, but it's been a long time. Jesse Plemons, is that what you said?
Yep.
I'll have to look him up then.
His
He looked
nickname
familiar,
is-
but I couldn't.
His nickname is Fat Damon.
Well, that scene is
Awesome.
really intense. Like, really, really intense. So, yeah, you know what Toad says it here. It pissed people off because it wasn't political. Yeah.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, it's not what I expected at all. Solid film. There was a line in it that I thought was so well done. Somebody very quickly mentions the Antifa massacre, but they don't say if Antifa did the massacring or if they were massacred. And I was like, that is really good, man. You are walking a razor's edge and you're nailing it. So good stuff. And, even if Alex Garland's movies don't necessarily land with me, like Men was freaking out there, they're always interesting. Like, he's always doing something that you want to talk about his movies afterwards. So good stuff. All right. If everybody is done, it's time for the extremely exciting discussion of the big budget film Byte.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
What does come to mind, Jack?
Well, when we were discussing what movie to watch, basically, this is a movie about an app that turns you into a werewolf. And that's what we got. It was some friends having a Halloween party. And one kid is like, "Hey, there's an app that you can turn into a werewolf." And then he orders the kit. It comes like in 30 seconds.
Yeah, what is that? It's not like same day shipping. It's like before you can get done taking
It's
a
like
piss. It's at your
Uber
door.
Eats.
Yeah.
And then they do a ritual, and then the app turns you into werewolf. And then we learn about who made the app, and you see some people get attacked by a werewolf in a Spirit Halloween. My second movie with a Spirit Halloween costume for the week.
Spirit Halloween bat costume.
Yeah.
Harry Bat. Ford Coppola werewolf costume.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Before you say what you think, I just want to put out there, if you made this film and this film is small enough that there's a solid chance you are watching this, you probably don't want to listen. I don't know what you guys are going to say. I'm
You
sorry.
do.
Congratulations, you made a movie.
Yeah.
That's tough. Just go listen to something else. All right, Jack. Sorry.
Oh, if you want me to tell you what I thought of it, I felt like I was watching a movie where some friends of mine got a camera and made a movie for fun.
Why you got to shit on the last Kumite, man?
I mean, like they found their father's camera in the attic.
Yeah,
and
I know,
okay,
I know.
let's make a. And as I'm watching it, what I wouldn't say to my friends would be like, "This should have been funnier, and this should have been shorter."
Yeah.
Because it takes itself dead serious, and
Yes.
there's a lot of talking, and a lot of people giving very earnest performances with a Halloween costume level special effect. So I think if they had played this for laughs, it would have been maybe a little bit of a better. So, for every low lifes that you're like, hey, who home run on Tubi, there's a lot of these. So, this is just a low budget movie that made it to Tubi. God bless you for making it to Tubi.
Okay. Chad, you're going to go nuclear, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first then. This movie's lighting was actually pretty good. I was actually thinking the whole time watching it, compared to a lot of the stuff I watched for So Bad It's Good, I could see what was happening here. Big bonus. Except when the werewolf is on. You maybe don't want to light that as well, because the costume is not good. And when you're trying to do the... There's one part where it's supposed to be the wolf legs walking, and it's clearly a dude walking on his toes in the costume. Yeah. Like, you don't have to show that. This did feel like college friends making a movie. That's what it felt like. And that's my biggest problem with this, and why I wasn't looking forward to this episode. I don't like talking about movies like this that I get to see for free, that somebody just released. Like, I don't like tearing these down. Like, it's, it's different if, like, I'm paying money for it, then I'm like, hey, warning people off of it, So I'm going to propose a new rule that if we pick a movie like this because we think it's going to be funny, which is why we picked it. When we were having the discussion, it's like, the description of this is nuts. An app turns people into werewolves. That could be fun. If we get 20 minutes, a half hour in, and you see what it is, that person should just pull shoot and message the rest of us and be like, hey, let's pick a different movie. Because, I just don't want to sit here and shit on some college kids or whoever made this, trying to put something out there and learn. I don't know. Yeah, it's not good though. Don't watch this on Tubi. It is boring. And when I say boring, I never, ever, ever fall asleep watching movies. It's just not something I do. I started watching this yesterday and I fell asleep. So I started again today from roughly where I remembered. Within 10 minutes, I fell asleep again today, and I was sitting at my desk. I was sitting up in my chair at my desk, and I fell asleep. This just did not hold my attention at all. So, okay, I'm done. Go ahead, Chad.
Yeah, I feel like you guys were really, you held back. I know you did. Okay,
I hate trashing movies like this.
I understand that.
I pick movies on So Bad It's Good. They're at least 10 years old for this reason.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't want it to be fresh. I don't want it to be like an open wound for someone, All right,
yeah, I get it. And I hope none of them watch. But I will say that, I always feel bad for actors and actresses that are in films like this because they're doing their thing, they're giving it their all, and they have to say some really idiotic stuff. Like, and sometimes an actor can be really good and good for a role and do their job really well, depending on the director. We saw that with Mark Wahlberg when he did Boogie Nights, where he was freaking phenomenal. And then you see him in The Happening, and it's like, man, somebody knows how to direct Mark Wahlberg, and somebody does not know how to direct him. It's like night and day. It's like two different people acting there. So I don't know. and I'm not saying the acting would have been good in here. There was one chick in here that I thought, yeah, she's not that bad. If you put her in something else, she might be
I
able to.
actually thought the same thing. There was one
Yeah.
actress in particular. I was like, she's doing pretty good.
And I don't want to say who because I don't want to.
She has a line that is so bad at the end. I was like, you had to say that and you still did okay.
My real problem with this is the writing, and I think it's because I've been I've been writing for the last decade professionally. I hang out with a lot of writers. I read a lot of my peers' stuff. I've read tons of books, and I just don't know how this movie got made. This movie got made more than just because somebody grabbed a camera and a couple of friends. There was definitely some money involved in this. Like you said, Jason, the lighting was great.
They did a good job lighting it, yeah.
The quality of this was like
Good lighting.
It was the audio, even though it was like
That's my pull quote.
Yeah, there's our blurb right there. But the and the audio, even though it was like, I don't know what you call that. It's like dubbed, but not dubbed. It's just like way almost too loud.
Oh, towards the end of the movie, I couldn't understand the thing they were saying.
Yeah. It sure seemed like the microphone was on the camera a lot.
But the writing in this movie is some of the worst I've ever seen in a movie. I mean, it is freaking bad. Not just the dialogue, just the premise and how everything comes about. I'm not buying any of this at all. And some of the stuff that was
But you're not buying an app that turns you into a werewolf?
I mean, it's like if you want to do that, fine, but it's just like I mean, I don't know. No, I'm not.
How about at least make it that the app is what turns you into the werewolf? It's not.
Here's an example. Like, we know that a college kid is not going to jump onto here and spend $25 on this thing. This is something like a 75-year-old grandma or grandpa would do, because who's never been on the internet before and doesn't understand, Nigerian kings and chain letters and scams and stuff like that. That's who falls for this kind of stuff, not some dude that has grown up on the internet and TikTok and Instagram and apps and stuff like that. No, I'm not buying that.
But it's not a
Anyway.
scam. It's a real thing.
It's true. He knew it was going to work. And it did.
horribly written. I was eye rolling and I hated it. I was mad that we were watching it, and I kind of wish, Jason, you would have texted everybody and say, stop the presses. No more of this. Because I didn't watch it until after you guys, I think, had seen it.
I just finished it today, so. But I started it last night, and I thought it was too late, so I didn't message everybody. But I think that's the rule from now on. If we accidentally get one of these, pull shoot. Let everybody else know.
Yeah, Jason, if if you had your buddies and you were sitting around, and your wife and you were sitting around in your studio watching this, I think you would have had a really good time with it, because there's a lot to point and laugh at.
I don't know.
I mean,
man.
yeah, it's boring, but
It's boring.
It reminds me a little bit of a movie that I think it's the only movie I sent you. I've recommended some, but it's the only one I actually sent. I think it's called Alpine Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Only that's worse as far as lighting is some of the worst. Dialogue is even worse. The acting is even worse. Everything is really bad in that, but it kind of reminds me of this, except for that's shot on video, and even though I think it's newer. But my one thing that you guys were complaining about is the costume. That was the best part of the movie. Not that it was like top notch, but it wasn't that bad for how bad the rest of it was.
It was more that it wasn't a werewolf, and that they lit the hell out of it. Was my two biggest problems.
Yeah,
like that's a bat face. That's like what?
There's a different. I think they were just trying to have a different take on.
I think that's the costume they could afford. Is probably why they had that. But the hair looked okay. It's just, Man, there's a scene at the beginning where a woman is walking home, I think from the bar, and she just keeps walking. And
Yes.
she walks to the train station. I'm like, oh, this is where she's going to get killed at the train station. She walks through the train station. Then she's walking outside again. I'm like, my God. That was so much of this movie. The guy who's a werewolf meets a woman he hooked up with at a restaurant. And they have to sit and talk for a while. And then she gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
And then he kills her later. It's like, why is that scene in the restaurant in the movie? You know?
Yeah.
Let's just get to the spoilers.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
with your favorite guy in the movie, the guy that invented the app.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's the best. He is where it becomes SBIG. Because it's like,
I have a different...
This guy's the villain?
He was my second favorite, but I have a different favorite, and that is the cop at the college.
Oh, God. Yeah.
That dude was freaking hilarious.
Hey, stop.
Way over the
I
top.
want to talk to you.
Stop.
But it was so funny because all of a sudden I just came to a point where I was like, so now all of a sudden this guy is like the whole movie. Like we haven't seen him, and now.
Yeah.
I like how, you know, that guy in the abandoned house or whatever, he has a lab coat on so we can tell he's the bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta
The
have
lab
a
coat
on.
for his computer programming.
Yes. Yeah, in a house that's essentially empty.
And Jason, you're bringing up what I was thinking at the end of the movie. So the app was really just a way to order the werewolf blood that gets delivered to you.
Yes.
It
could have been an Amazon listing.
Didn't some of the blood like seep into the
it did.
screen or something, which didn't really do anything? Maybe it's part of the ritual. But then I was like waiting. I was like, okay, are we going to have a scene at the end where people are all holding the phone and we see people, and they kind of did that, but they didn't.
There were no rules because, like, for example, because one person drank the blood, right? And even though there were, 4 of them, one girl almost didn't do it until her boyfriend grabbed her and cut her anyway. But
Which
why
would
did
have
we
went
need,
over well in real life.
Why did we need her blood at all? I mean, what if she didn't give up the blood? How would the app know that? I mean, did you need to have 4 people? And then, one of my other problems was, you know, that guy chugged the chalice of blood, and it's like there was like 4 drops of blood in there. What is he drink? What is he?
I don't know. Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, there's more left if you want somebody." It's like, how?
No, if they would have put all their blood in there and he would have tipped it, nothing would have come out.
Yeah.
It would have stuck to the sides and, you know, made some lines. Yeah, I know I'm nitpicking, but I think my favorite line in here is, I wrote it down here. Chick goes to the bathroom or something, and she doesn't know her boyfriend just ordered the thing and was talking to his friend about what he just did, and she comes back and she says, "Please tell me you didn't order some kind of werewolf blood online." And he goes, "That's exactly what I did." What?
Oh. At the end, when you find out this dude has started the werewolf apocalypse,
Yeah.
and the one girl has to say something like that. Like, oh, it's the were-apocalypse or the werewolf apocalypse or something. And I was like, wow, you had to say that line. That's rough, man.
And I think earlier in the movie, like at the beginning, she refers to as something as a lichen. And I'm
Did
like,
she?
who the hell actually uses that term except people playing Dungeons and Dragons and watching movies?
Yeah, horror dorks say lichen.
I know you guys probably don't, because you don't have kids. So I don't know if you know who Naruto is, but this werewolf ran like that character Naruto.
Is that the thing with the arms back?
Yes.
Yeah. They tried to do running on all fours a couple times. Like, they tried to do stuff, but again, the way it was lit and shot just did not make it look intimidating. It just looked like a dude in a bad suit.
And the werewolf could just slash. Couldn't really tear people apart.
They just scratch up their chest. Yeah.
Because I was falling asleep a lot, what was the knife they were able to kill it with a lot? or kill it with at the end?
Was the knife silver?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought she said this. I thought she might have said it was silver, but
By the end, I was having a really hard time paying attention. I was actually I had it open on my laptop, and I was working on a book cover for someone while I was watching the end of it.
I was trying to pay attention at the end because I kept falling asleep. I was trying to stay awake, and it was just brutal, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the end of it, I just kind of zoned out a little.
But you're right, Jack. That dude that was cast as the villain was like, is this your uncle? Why is this guy cast in this role? He's the least intimidating guy I think I've ever seen.
and he would just like leave them and walk to another part of the house and leisurely come back, and they have a gun. Then suddenly he's got a gun, and it was the most nonchalant climax of a movie.
They stab the werewolf. He comes in. He's like, huh, I guess it's dead. And he goes to leave. Like, it's just the whole thing is.
And then we haven't talked about Discount Jesse Eisenberg, the main
dude. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that because that's what I was thinking. That's what I was calling him when I was watching it.
Why was he teaming up with the app guy at the end?
I assumed he was under his power because of the app.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said that.
I thought maybe I slept through that part where that was explained. I was just like, wait, he's helping him?
Because the bad guy kept saying, "Welcome to the family."
Sure.
So,
okay.
Now he's a werewolf.
Wow.
So you know how we're always looking at, well, there's American Werewolf in London, The Howling, The Wolfman, Dog Soldiers. Like, is this going to be the next one?
Oh my gosh. I think you could tell that by the name of it.
Yeah.
Some Byte.
Yeah. I will give them credit. The cover, along with the little one-sentence description, made us pick this movie. So, bravo. You did a good job hooking us. I hope those ads on Tubi paid you well.
Yeah.
But I don't know if somebody else wrote that description because it sounds so dumb. An app turns you into a werewolf. I was like, okay, I got to see this. Yeah, that's not what happens. It's not what happens at all.
There's an app involved.
Right. Somebody uses a phone at some point.
Yeah, Toten says, "What's the deal with the class that wasn't a class? Are you referring to like the witchcraft, the Salem burnings, and all of that kind of stuff?" And
yeah, I forgot about that.
The chick is like, "I wish that we could really do a deep dive and all this." It's like, for what? What's you're gonna pay for this? For what? What is this?
Was that just to justify the professor's knowledge of the occult?
Which didn't do anything.
No.
Because she just died. Which, by the way, what's the term? MILF? That chick was, she was a good-looking older woman.
I honestly don't remember. That was when I was really struggling.
Yeah.
Basically, the second act of this movie, I was like, oh, he ate his cat. Oh, he's in class. Like, I was like really in and out. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, man. Hey, somebody pointed out that Horror in the High Desert 3 is $4 on Amazon right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well, we have to do In a Violent Nature, but we can do them in any order, really. What do
Let's
we want to do?
confirm that. Let's just take a quick look to make sure that...
I did. I looked it on Amazon.
You got it?
$3.99.
You want to do that next week?
I do. What did you get?
Into Jack's lap there? Glad you had your pants on.
My screen's screwed up, so I have to...
saw that Kleenex down there, Jack.
My camera is here, but the stuff I'm looking at is over here.
Glad you weren't doing the old Jeffrey Tubin there.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so you want to do that next week?
High Desert? Sure.
Was it called Horror in the High Desert?
Horror in the High Desert 3. Firestarter or Firewatch, I think.
Firewatch with me.
This feels like this is your most anticipated movie of the year, Chad. So I feel
it is, man. I'm a big fan of this guy's other.
Chad's going to pay to watch a movie and not.
I am.
Put up a fuss.
It's only $3.99, so yes, I am. Hey, man, I recently cut out all my. I even shut down Shudder, man.
What? Wow.
Yeah, I've had that for years. I'm trying to pinch some pennies.
I can live without Shudder. I like Shudder, but
I keep it for
Yeah.
Joe Bob. The moment they get rid of Joe Bob, I'll probably roll. But all right, well, there is your homework. Horror in the High Desert 3. For once, we told you what we're doing early. And we will see you guys next week.
yeah.
Game over.